right, so to get started, as far as injuries, nothing's changed. It's the same as yesterday in regards to with Allen Robinson, just at the end of the game there. And so he'll just be, it's the same thing. We'll just be precautionary here with him and then continue to roll and be precautionary as well with 5-2 and just day to day and just see how they continue to feel. But, anytime you go into a game like that with the status that they were, you always got to just, always day to day and see where they're at and just constant communication with them. But other than those two, that was it. Bryce Callahan did well, and so after watching the tape yesterday, it is, it's when you lose a game, you always want to go in and see the whys and understand the whys, and so there's you see a lot more than what you think you see after watching tape and in all three phases, and so I just think that for us as coaches, it's very important that we're doing everything in our ability to make sure that we're putting guys in great situations, and then when they're put in a situation that they go ahead and they make the plays. So, and you guys can go ahead and ask the questions you have per phase.
Max, circling back on the last play of the first half, as you go back and watch that on film, you see it at the 40. What's the thought process there again on just trying to get that thing?
So a couple things. You could try the same play that we did at the end of the game. We do studies now, off-season studies, and we look at different scenarios and see different things that can happen. And there's a lot of times where in those situations when you do that, all of a sudden the quarterback's dropping back, he's running around, and there's a freak sack. All of a sudden the guy gets hurt, or there's just it ends up nothing happening. So. But we've also done studies, like I said yesterday, where a guy catches an easy pass and goes ahead and runs, and we've seen where there's been face mask or certain tackles where there's been a face mask. Now you get a field goal. So, it's 6-1, half dozen the other. You wouldn't have been wrong. I wouldn't have been wrong by throwing it into the end zone. I don't think either one is wrong in that scenario. Different at the end of the game.
Last year in Dallas, you hit one at the end of the half.
Yeah.
Similar situation there, similar concept?
It was, yeah. Yeah, it was similar. Now, if you go back and look at Dallas's defense last year versus the defense we saw at the end of the half yesterday, it was different. So they had a guy kind of hanging there over the middle, and that's why Tariq had to kind of try to run around him, and nothing happened. So.
What did you like about dropping your outside linebackers in the coverage?
What do I like?
What did you like about it?
Yeah, so when you face a quarterback like Tom Brady, there's different concepts and thoughts and schemes that coaches will do, and so that was something that we did a little bit more obviously yesterday than we have in the past, and it creates another defender for the quarterback to have to throw around, and especially when you know or think or predict that they're not going to run the ball. If you think they're going to run the ball, that's different, right? Because now only 3 guys are rushing, but it creates another element to have him throw around, and don't think that's the first time he's seen that. He's seen that defense a lot from a lot of different teams, and so when you decide to drop 8 versus him, you got to be good at it.
If Mac were 100% healthy or closer to 100%, would he have had his hand in the dirt at any point as a down lineman? We're trying to make sense of how hampered he was.
Yeah. No, there's a possibility of that. You probably would have seen more of what you saw for sure.
A player like Mac is obviously less than 100%. How difficult is it to find the line where the team is better off with him on the sideline being healed, and how difficult is it to have that conversation with the player?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's not easy. It's not easy, and so that's where the trust level from both ends has to be there. The player has to understand where we're coming from as a team as to where you at percentage-wise. We all know he's not 100%, but where are you at? And so that's where we trust him, he trusts us, and then we go ahead with the plan, with the action plan, and that's what we ended up doing. But it's not an easy decision or process.
So he's not 100%. How did he come out of the game? Was he more pain or less?
It was probably similar. As far as the pain, I don't think it was any better or any worse.
You mentioned yesterday that you would maybe be able to see things that Mitch did well that maybe some of us wouldn't. What positives did you see? Yeah,
I did, and so yesterday, I knew I felt it. I normally have a pretty good feeling in regards to that position and how they're playing. And going back and watching tape, he played as I thought. He played a game better than most people think he played. And so there were some throws now that he missed in the later part of the game. See, early in the game, there's some throws that look like he missed them, but he missed them because the guy wasn't open, and it's more of a throwaway. And so that's where, to the outsider, it looks like he's inaccurate, when really he's just trying to get the ball away because we weren't winning outside. And so our offense understands that. Our guys know it. They understand that we got to play better. Mitchell also understands that he gets all the blame and in those type of situations. Now, he'll also be the first to tell you, and so will I, that there was a few that he wishes he had back, downfield throws, and he's got to hit those. He knows that. We know that. The one that jumps out that we talked about yesterday was the one in the end zone where Bradley Soul was in the corner. He can't do that, right? He knows that. That's a critical error that you cannot do. There's no excuses for it. He knows it. There was one later in the game towards the end where Anthony Miller was running down the middle, and we missed that one. So there's a few in there that he would want back, but there's others in there where it may look like, I don't know his numbers, what was 26 of 50, I think, where there's several throwaways in there, and that's a credit to New England for playing good defense, and we got to get better on O.
On the corner route to Anthony, where became the 50-50 ball, is that because you mentioned too the sliding into a protection there? So how did that kind of affect?
No, so that one there is one where Anthony popped open. He was open on that, and Mitch will tell you it was underthrown. It was the kid made a great play, really good play to pick it off on both of those interceptions. They were good plays, but. That was one there where, in that situation, to be able to just get it up a little bit earlier. He was a little late with his timing when he let the ball go. If he lets the ball go just a one hitch less, then it would have been a great throw. His timing was just off, And
sorry, Matt. How did you feel about the one target to Bellamy when you look back?
No, that's not Mitch at all. Mitch rolled out. He was trying to make. Matter of fact, that was a great play by Mitch. He rolls out of the pocket. It's third down. He's trying to make a play. He makes a hell of a throw. We got to protect the football there. It's either an incompletion or a completion, not an interception. Now, again, crazy as it sounds, that's credit to that D-back. He made a hell of a play on that. I had to rewind it about 5 times to see how he made that catch. But that ball was spot on, right on 15, and the kid made a good play, took it away from him. It was a pick. Now that one didn't hurt us as bad, field position wise. So between the 2 picks, 2 great plays by the DBs. One didn't hurt us as bad. The one to Anthony Miller later in the game, that's the one. If we all look back and say that's the one we need, we can't have that.
So as effective as Mitch has been running the ball, is there a knack for a developing quarterback that he kind of develops to making big plays downfield when he gets flushed out of the pocket? It just seems like on that one play he was trying, but in general, he seems to run first.
Yeah, no, you start to, well, what we always tell him, though, is, be a thrower first, right? And so before you decide to run, now, I think there was only in the game, he did a great job scrambling and making plays on third down and big plays with his legs. There was one play where he got a first down on a scramble, where if you pause it from the end zone view and you see, now Taylor was late in the progression, but he was sitting over the middle of the field, and he could have threw it to him for an easy first down. Instead, he scrambled. That's a weapon right now for us, for him using his legs, because there's coverages that defenses cannot run now because he's running the ball.
But is it just experience that gets you from the stage where he's running to where he's throwing and hitting Tariq Cohen or Gabriel downfield for 50 yards? You know what I'm saying? Will that come, I guess?
Yeah, it'll come. And I think that's more of just more, like you just said, experience with him. The more times he's outside of the pocket, we had a specific play. We ended up scoring a touchdown on the drive, but earlier in the game, I think it was when we went up 17-7. They brought a cover 0 on us, and he had a hot that didn't look hot, and so it looked like we had to scramble. And he made a hell of a backdoor move in the pocket and scrambled out and then missed Tariq in the flat. But that should have never happened. The ball should be out to a guy. So there's elements to this offense that we got to do, and when you don't do them, it falls on it. It looks like it's the quarterback's fault. And so our offense needs to understand we all need to go now. It needs to be 11 people, not just 10.
You said yesterday that the run game needed to improve. It's kind of
yeah.
So much attention is focused on Jordan Howard,
right?
Whether he's a fit.
Are the offensive linemen picking this up, or have you pinpointed what it is?
No, they have. The offensive lineman has. Jordan has. The easy answer is that, you know, learning this offense as a whole, all of us together, and kind of going through this deal, the run game, trying to figure out the identity of who we are, has taken a little bit longer than the pass game. And so what we're going to do is that's why we're coaches, is figure out who we are, what we do best, and we talk about it. So we're at a point right now where we need to figure out what that is. And you know, you can't have earmuffs and blinders on. You got to be real with it and understand that we got to be better in the run game. When you're not good in the run game and you become one-dimensional, you're in trouble. And so we need to focus in on making sure we're better there. And it doesn't mean that you change your ratio, pass to run ratio or anything like that, but when you do run, your yards per carry has to be better.
Is there anything that Taylor could have done differently given the coverage he was getting? He mentioned kind of having a cornerback to his inside and safety help over the top almost the entire game.
Say that again?
Was there anything that Taylor Gabriel could have done differently the way that New England was playing it with a cornerback kind of inside and safety help over the top?
No. They mixed some things up as far as their zone and man and their two-man stuff, the way they played. But no, he did everything that we asked him to.
On Mitch's 39-yard run, what was your assessment of the second half of that after he gets to the sideline and then makes the decision to stay?
Yeah, it was good because you could see Leno and Cody were there. They were like, he turned around and said, "Come on, let's."
Not the touchdown, the one that went down to the one where he was over on the. He scrambled.
Yeah. No, that was a great one too. I was a little concerned when he got to the sideline that when he decided to cut it back in, sometimes there's that pursuit angle coming from behind. That's the one you get popped and fumble the ball. But he had a pretty good feel for it. You know, he runs strong and he protects the football pretty well. So when he got in there and then he felt like they thought he was going to go out of bounds and he cut back, made a couple. But the blocking, Jordan Howard was running downfield, made a good block. Anthony Miller was in there. Some of our other guys, they didn't quit. And you could feel the energy. We got down there to the 1 yard line. We went hurry up, popped a touchdown, and then we got called for a legal shift.
On the Soule pass, is the hope there that he's just uncovered? What do you look for there? Because it looked like Braunecker was close to him.
Yeah. No, he was in the back pylon corner route. He did his deal. That's a play where you expect them to play a little bit more run, and they didn't. So that's a play that they got us. So in those situations, as a quarterback, that was a bad play call. So go ahead, don't make a bad play worse. Let's go to second down. That's why you do that on first down.
Matt, some quarterbacks just see things and make throws that others don't. Mm-hmm. It seems like a feel for the game. Are they born with that, or can that be improved with continued reps?
No, it can be both. So you are born with that, and that's your DNA, and it becomes easier for that person when they go through the offense. But as you experience the offense and as you play and it starts to slow down for you, those throws become a little easier and more natural. And so, and he has that. You know, there's been some games here where we've had some guys and he's missed some throws. But I promise you, if you go back and you look across the NFL at the quarterbacks, I know we zero in on our guy. You look across the league, trust me, I watch a lot of tape. It happens everywhere.
I guess I'm focused more on seeing him than making the throw, because when he sees him, he makes some nice throws. Mm-hmm. And is it an ability, is it a wide field of vision? Is it reading your progressions?
I think it's probably the progressions. It's probably more the progressions. So, again, with time, as we go, that quarterback we played yesterday, he's been in this offense for a little while together with his offensive coordinator and with his head coach, and he's seen quite a few defenses. He said it last year, right? He's seen it all. There's not a defense you can throw at him that he hasn't seen. We can't say that right now about Mitchell. That's not true. So in time, maybe down the road, we'll get to that.
So kind of a natural follow-up to that, because you were talking a few minutes ago about developing the run, developing the pass. Is it possible that the run is lagging a little bit because you are so focused on developing Mitch?
I don't think so, but because I think it's not the development on Mitch. This is about the development of the offense, you know? And so we feel like we have a pretty good feel of where we're at in the pass game. We know we can be better in the run game, and that's natural. That's for us. We just got to see how it fits with personnel, how it fits with our scheme, our concepts that we like within the run game, and then you got to take that and you got to fit it versus the defense that you're playing that week.
Matt, are you concerned about the risk involved with Trubisky running? Because he seems to be getting more and more bold about gaining yards as opposed to sliding.
No, well, you always have risk, and we always tell them to protect themselves, to make sure that when you're in the field of play, just get down and be smart. The last couple of games, he's been pretty good. I think you've seen he gets there and he'll slide down. Now, yesterday, a few others where he made some nice runs. I think that was more of just the way the game was going, the way he was feeling, like what he needed to do to help out in certain situations. More so than, hey, it's a read. He's reading the backer. He pulls it and runs. A little different. Scrambles are different than run game reads.
Do you expect Adam Shaheen to practice this week?
Not sure yet. He's getting closer. That's something that we'll get together and discuss, kind of where he's at in regards to, this week and as we go. But I like the way he's been progressing. We're with him every day in meetings, and I'm always talking to him, and so I think he's getting close.
Was the plan to, after the forced fumble on the kickoff, and then you guys stopped him, Patterson at the 18, was the plan at that point to try to make New England return kicks, or was that, maybe a win factor or something?
As far as kicking to them?
As far as kicking to them.
Yeah, there was a little win factor involved in that, and there was, you could always go back to the fact of, squibbing it as well and doing that. Cordell's he's shown over time he's good at returning kicks, and that's unfortunately, a play in the game where when you're winning 17-7, you got a little bit of momentum, you can back them up, and then he takes it to the house. Now it's 17-14, and you're back in there. So both of those touchdowns by no like they didn't lose us the game, but man, they were crucial. And so we got it. We'll get better. Coach Taves will do an awesome job with those guys and get them right, and our guys will learn from it and understand it, and we'll grow and get better.
When you watch the film of the return touchdown, I think Tolliver is the only guy who even had a chance to make a play on it. What kind of went wrong there?
They had a good scheme, and we had the one missed tackle there. That's big. You got to make that tackle, and so it's a credit to them for making a good play. The kid made a good run, and once you get that kid in open space versus any kicker, he's scoring.
And with Roquan Smith, he had like about 55% yesterday.
Yeah.
It seems like he's the guy that has the speed to match that, but was that more of a scheme thing?
Probably more scheme than anything. It's not that, that he can't play or can't, I think it's more a little bit of scheme. And so we'll continue to keep pumping him up and getting him going. You're right. He's flying around. He's making plays. Again, I don't want to overstep my boundaries defensively with the scheme and what they do and the rules and everything, but he's still learning, with what he's supposed to be doing within that defense. And there's even times where when I'm watching tape, I don't know when he screws up versus the defensive coaches. So I'll go in and we talk it through and have a balance on that, but he is playing fast.
You said it's day-to-day for Mac in terms of maintenance and that kind of thing, but do you fear it's going to be a little bit of time before he's back to kind of being himself and not hampered by this?
There's a possibility for him. Every player is a little bit different. Now, he's kind of a freak in regards to his health and how he goes and pain tolerance. So we'll have to just keep a real clean eye on it.
Matt, the Patriots have a history of doing well against first and second-year quarterbacks, but kind of on the flip side of that, how much of a teaching tool is a game against them? What do you expect Trubisky to learn from that? It seems like that's a better teaching thing than throwing 6 touchdowns against the Buccaneers. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. No, it's you see where they're at as a team. You understand it. You respect it. I said that last week. You respect who they are. But for us, they've won a lot of ball games over a lot of different years, and they do it different ways. And that's what I think is special about that team is they can come from behind. If they're down 31-3, they still have a chance to win. If they're up 31-3, they can put you away. And when you have a leader such as Tom on the field running the show, he makes everybody better. He makes everybody better. And so for Mitch, it's good for him to see that and to understand it, that we just keep pushing along. We keep staying positive. And I said it yesterday. I'm happy with where this offense is. We can be better. Again, numbers don't matter. We got to get the wins. And we've lost 2 in a row now. So I've also said that adversity strikes, and you got to be able to be prepared to have a little peaks and valleys. We're in a valley right now. So we got to get out of the valley, and that's by having good people that work hard together, that stay positive, and just continue working hard.
Matt,
what
when
allowed,
Khalil Mack, when Khalil Mack is doubled or injured or both, have other guys in the last 2 games done enough to pick up the slack in the pass rush the last 2 games? Or does that have something to do with you not going after the quarterback as much the last 2 weeks?
No, when you get doubled, and that's nothing new. That's been every game. He gets doubled every game, and our other defensive ends and outside linebackers they're getting doubled too. So there's times where it's if you're going to go ahead and double the guys on the edges, then we got to be able to get penetration up the middle. If you're going to double one side, then you got to be able to get pressure from the other side. And unfortunately, right now we had a couple sacks yesterday, but we got our guys got to continue to keep working hard at winning those one-on-one battles. And we say it on the offensive line, you got to win your one-on-one battle. Defense, same thing. You get home. It doesn't mean you always get a sack, or it doesn't mean you always tip the ball, but you're affecting the quarterback, and you're breaking down that green grass, and he sees color when he throws, and that's what we need more of.
Now, what allowed Mitch and Trey to have such a connection yesterday?
Right. No, that was good. I was happy with that, and you can see. So with Trey, it was becoming a security blanket for Mitch yesterday. Trey he had good matchups. He was getting open. With this offense, we have a lot of different people that can get the ball and can get open. And Trey happened to have the game yesterday. It was him where he had some nice plays over the middle. He was getting over the middle of the field. The ball was getting out quick to him, and you can see they had a nice little connection going. So we want to keep that thing going. Thank you. Thank you.